Welcome to Signature Buzz, your fast-paced weekly real estate sales meeting.
What has been most successful? Like looking at it from a real estate agent's perspective, from the things that you posted, which post got you the most real estate leads? Like, things that made your business better.
I'm going to say it wasn't one post. We were actually talking about this earlier in CE class, Chris, but it's been my specific hashtags that I've used that I've gotten a lot of out-of-state referrals from. And it's been the same response from these different agents from out-of-state. Oh, I found you because of this hashtag. That's powerful. And then mind you, that one client, I just sold their house again. So it's like that one hashtag made me from, for that one person, 30 grand. It's kind of crazy when you think about it in perspective.
So I want to break that down for a second, because I think that even I don't understand hashtags as well as I should. So my interpretation of it is that you create a post, you end it with a phrase that people search for, like signature life, and things that would apply to it where people are saying, this happened, it's part of the signature life. And so you had a real estate agent from another state search a hashtag and find you because of the hashtag.
Yep, I've had multiple. Yeah.
That's crazy. Crazy. Corey, what about you? What is that thing that made the biggest real estate impact on Postflex?
I think it's relationship, which is also through hashtags. Like it's, for me, specifically working as relocation and wanting that, right? Like people in Long Beach and in Pasadena are important to, like my referral business, but also just my pipeline and life. And so I think getting to, for me, not hashtags so much, but like engaging with other agents across the platform. So for example, my friend Emily and I, she's an agent in Pasadena, and we played a little game of what can $450,000 buy you in our market, right? And we didn't come back to it. We want to keep building it out because, 1.3 in Pasadena looks really different than 1.3 in Vegas. And so that cross potential to post in their stories, to get on a live that's huge. You're just opening yourself up to an entire other market.
That seems like an intriguing standpoint, because I see those videos on TikTok, but I could see how that engagement and the people saying, oh my God, I didn't understand. Because people don't go out and just look at property in different marketplaces as an occurrence. They'd have to be brought to it. So I can understand how that direct engagement. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. If you're like me, you post once in a while, you show a picture of your kids here and there. Where did you transition from once in a while to a strategy? And how long did it take for that strategy to pay off? Like where you got that first lead? Was it a day, a year, still working on it?
Yeah, I think it's like, yes, you're always still working on it and you're always still leveling. Like
Trends are changing too.
Yeah, it's to me, it's just my SOI. Like it's just an extension of my SOI. Like I don't see it any different than what I'm doing with my SOI daily in my CRI.
So I'm going to tell you a story real quick. There was a mentor of mine many, many years ago, even before I was in real estate. And this is before I got my license or anything. I just noticed he would always promote himself on bus stop. And I was like, hey, you sell a lot of houses to people riding the bus? And he's like, no. He goes, it's marketing that is easily affordable, that no one pays attention to, that people drive this all the time. And I said, well, but why do you do it? I mean, like, is that helping you? And he goes, well, when I walk into the house, they know what I do. And they know how I do it because they see me every day as they drive to and from work. And it was so impactful to me when he said that, because he goes, you have to show them that they don't know who you. And so it's allowed me that opportunity. And I think to the point that you both have made, when you walk into this listing appointment and they've already followed your channel for a year and they've seen the success stories and the care and the technique and things you do, you've eliminated all of the questions of why would you be a great agent for me? You're just there to discuss the finite deals of you taking that listing. Have you guys noticed it got easier to do listings because of your social media?
Yes. And I feel like I know a lot of people are kind of going back and forth on having your photo on things. And I just feel like you're building a brand. And so I do feel like, yes, I feel like it's gotten easier from social media, yard signs, what have you not, Google reviews. It's all, I'm trying to build a brand of who I am and my face is going along with that, obviously.
Yeah. Face to camera, I think, is the biggest game changer, important thing. If you can do nothing else in your social media, just get your face in camera. And because that is our brand. That is it. It's not your logo. It's not your colors. That's part of it, but it really is your face.
So give me some what not to do's for those that are, maybe in the middle of it or trying or getting out there. What couple of things do you suggest that people not do or stop doing that you might have seen as a mistake early on?
Do not put your political views on social media. Don't go out there. I mean, when the election was going on, I was quiet. But I mean, that's my opinion. I mean, that's my opinion. So there's a lot of other people who feel differently, but that's just my opinion.
Because you don't want to turn off any of the viewership of people that you've been trying so hard to connect with, right?
Yes. And my following is very both-sided. So I decided to not post anything because I didn't want to upset anybody.
Sounds like my house Thanksgiving. I completely get it. Corey, same thing to you.
Ask me the question again.
What things would you suggest people not do, or things that you did early on that were a mistake that you want people to learn from?
You guys, nothing. Like, honestly, just do it. Like, you will learn as you go.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I've grappled with that same question of politics, and I've come up with, I've got to do what feels authentic to me. And so that's how I show up. And I think, will I change my mind in a year? Maybe. Will I change my mind tomorrow? Might, right? But just really the only mistake you can make is not showing up.
The most important step to any part of marketing. It's to really understand, one, who you are authentically, not who are you plus the agent next to you who does really great stuff, right? It's truly and uniquely, who am I? What can I bring that's unique to my client? Because one of the things that's so great about this business is we all have great ways of showing up for our clients, and that's going to resonate for the right people. So it's really not trying to be someone else. It's looking straight, really looking at your own skill set and your own, really the things that you like to talk about and you like to do, and honing in on that. And then I think it's also looking, okay, well then who am I best positioned to serve? And how do they need me to show up? What are the types of challenges that they're going to have? And we can go, further into kind of a content strategy or into that strategy. But the first thing is to take a step back, to understand who you are, what you want to offer, and then how does that take shape in the world? For me, it was really understanding that I wanted to appeal to a more female buyer. Because again, that's sort of organic to me and natural to me. I also know through strategy and through some research that typically women are leading and guiding a lot of the real estate decisions. And when it comes to home, they are more actively searching. And so that was not only authentic, but strategic. I knew that I wanted to appeal to that type of buyer. And so that's really where it starts. Who are you? What do you want to offer? And then looking for ways to really, truly, authentically share that in the world.
So the research that you put into figuring that out is something I think a lot of agents just forget about. They want trained in digital marketing like you were. Maybe they didn't understand large marketing projects. I mean, you're talking multi-million-dollar marketing projects that you were part of. And before anyone spends that kind of money, they do a massive amount of research to target an audience and figure out who that is. And I think you're right. A lot of practitioners in our business, we are small business owners spending a fortune. I mean, pretty much the majority of the dollars they earn trying to get in front of people, they have no idea they're trying to attract. And so what a great point. If you take nothing else from this, you've got to be strategic in your marketing dollars and where they go. You said something that was important. You defined who you were after, who you want to talk. I noticed in all of your marketing, it's about you, your family, home, the community in which you serve, things happening in that community and how you and your family interact and relate to it. Talk to me about that. Like, how did you make that come to life and how much time did that take to start?
Yeah. Well, everything takes longer than you think it's going to, especially at the start. We'll say again, it goes back to who am I authentically? Who am I authentically? What are the things that I could talk about endlessly and authoritatively and genuinely, right? And picking and choosing the things that I'm comfortable sharing, right? A lot of people talk about social media and say, I don't want to share my personal details. And you don't have to. You don't have to share anything that you don't want to. But a little peek it can help create some connection and authenticity. I will say I do have, and I have a Trello board that I look at every day. I have 4 pieces of content that I create. And I do that so that I'm spending my time well. I'm remembering who my target audience is, and I'm making sure I'm delivering messages consistently for them. And I'm also making sure that I'm showing up like a real human being, and that I'm making time for the things that are important to me. I post a lot of soccer stuff. As you might know, I have kids that are soccer players. That goes, on different types in different ways. But I really do try to show up authentically. So one of the things I would say, and I've just chatted with an agent about 2 weeks ago, is we're talking about her social strategy, is to sit down and say, what are the things I could talk about every day? For her, it was gardening. It was renovating a craftsman style home that she has. It was her dogs. It was obviously real estate. So those become your pillars. Those become the things that you can authentically share with your clients. For me, it's community, it's family. In community, it's really local love. I love to highlight local businesses. I think that they're just the lifeblood of every community, and they're what makes our community special. And as small business owners ourselves, we know how hard those businesses are working, right? So I want to give them a little bit of love if I can. I have styled living, and then I'm starting to talk more about transition, life in transition, because again, that's reflective of who I am. I've gone through divorces. Divorce, just one. Just one. I've gone through a divorce. I've gone through career change, or a big career change. We are going through different life phases, and I'm starting to see that the women who are coming to me and asking me questions about real estate and asking me questions about life are also in those phases. So as much as I have a strategy and a content I have content pillars, I'm always looking at, well, what's resonating? What's resonating with people? What are people asking me about? And then, shifting and adjusting as I need to.
I think that's so important because we forget the people that we follow are people in similar situations that we want to understand how they're dealing with it. And those life events are the reason we have business, right? If it wasn't for the fact that people have life going on, they would need to upsize and downsize and move and transition and go from one place to the other. And so by correlating those dots of your target audience going through phases of life, it's such a simple idea that's so hard to conquer, and you've done it. I think also agents put on this alter ego. Like, I'm not Superman. I need to show myself in real life, but I want them to think I'm Superman in the deal. But the whole point is that I'm showing who I am, and you've shown who you are in all of those pieces. So it's genuine. You are who. It's not your business card from 30 years ago. It's you. And it's your videos are real. Wow, I really believe in it. I think that's awesome. Let's talk a little bit about your video content. Like, you have a massive presence in video. I've seen that. How did you build that brand strategy? What did you do to start that process?
Okay. Well, for me, again, going back to kind of who I was and how I wanted to show up, it really started to kick off in 2020 when we were stuck at home, and there was nothing to do but create video content. It started with being I will say, very cringy in front of the camera, and wanting, just truly feeling like the only way that I can show up in this moment that we're all going through was to have, what I would typically do is get coffee with a client. And that was not possible, right? And so I had to start finding ways to communicate a message at the time was direct to camera. And that was kind of where it started. What I find now is I'm trying to do more storytelling I'm trying to bring people into my world more and connect in a more, it's sort of real estate is almost the sub of what I'm trying to communicate. And one thing I will just say, Chris, is I think, and it's just a little bit of a tangent. I hope it's okay.
Feel free.
There's this, there is, to your point, this idea that when you show up on social media, you have to be someone different than who you are. But I think it's really important, for me, I know my stats. I know that 78% of my business comes from referrals or my sphere. And I know that 95% of those people have checked me out on Instagram and are following me on Instagram or are connected with me on Facebook or other places and engage with my content. So I know that if I show up as someone I'm not, that's going to alienate those people. That is not going to land in the right way. I also know that content can feel very overwhelming for people. And so at times, agents can just copy what they see.
With me.
Right? There's so many agents out there on social media, and good for all of us for starting to show up and get out there. But our clients know about 6 to 8 other agents, right? We know that. And I think that's actually increasing, unfortunately, but about 6 to 8 agents. And if we are creating the same content that we see other agents do, and we're using the same template that everyone else is using, we very quickly become just part of the noise. They can't distinguish us from someone else. And so for me, again, when I'm sitting down to create content, I'm trying to think of something that is not out there already. I do at times get some inspiration from other things. But when I'm sitting down, I'm really thinking about what do I need to communicate? I just did a home tour. I see a lot of home tours out there, and I think buyers love those, sellers, buyers. Everyone loves to see inside homes. But I start to think about how can I present this in a way that someone isn't going to scroll through, that they are excited to see the end, that it's a story about the house or it's a story about living there, and using different angles and using a way of really truly showing it, myself in some of the situations, but the home itself in a way that's engaging. And so I would say when you sit down to create content, think about content. Think about it in a way that is storytelling, that is a way that you can bring someone along with you. And I'd also say, just like I'm doing now, you don't know this, but I have a video here and I have a video here. Everything is content, right? So I'm going to check on a listing. I'm sweeping up before a new buyer gets the keys. I'm videoing that. I'm walking my dog. I'm videoing that. I mean, it sounds ridiculous. And at some point it does feel ridiculous, but building a library of things that you can use. So when an idea comes in, again, we're looking for really original, unique ideas to you and your brand. So when something pops into my mind, I can go, oh, I've got, 4 videos that I could potentially stitch together to create a story. And again,
I love
yeah.
that you said that because Brandon and I just participated in a video series, a couple of our other agents, and it was 2 or 3 hours of stuff where they were just creating. Can you walk upstairs? Can you walk downstairs? Can you walk outside? And I'm like, why are we doing this? Like, there's no value in my mind that I'm thinking. And then when they put together the plan, well, we're going to use pieces to show you in different situations as we tell the story. And it clicked for me. And now you saying that, like, how important is you conducting life in that and having that video just to put together the plan? People don't get that because it's not a production to them. It's one quick video. To you, with production, you are producing a plan and a plan of action that you have. I think that's really important. But let's get to the guts of one thing.
Yeah.
Then you started in 2020 doing this. How long until you saw life in those videos where it turned into a deal that you can say, yep, that happened because I did the videos?
Honestly, I would love to tell you that it took a year, but it took about a month.
Yeah.
Very quick. But let's remember that my audience are people who know me, people who in some ways have already trusted me. And now I'm showing up in a way that reminds them. She's been showing up uniquely with content, but now, video, right? And I was creating video pretty consistently. Again, I know it was cringy. but I got deals. In fact, 2020 was a great year for me in that way. And I conducted a lot of sales calls on video because of videos. I think that's unique. And I think we were in a very unique time. But I will say that if you show up consistently and you make it one element of your business, then you're continuing to do the other things, the other fundamentals, then that will start to click. And I will say a lot of people ask, can I just do Instagram? Can I just do video? Can I just do this? There are some people who really do go all in on that, and it works well for them. What I found the hard way is that when I only focus on Instagram, I'm losing out on other deals. I had a few years ago, someone that I thought we were very close, who knew I was an agent, who would never choose someone else and chose another agent because I forgot really to do the basics and calling and asking her the right questions. I was relying on Instagram. So I learned that the hard way. It is one element of your business and it creates a lot of trust and it can accelerate your business, but not if you don't follow up and do the other things.